So speaking of enthusiasm, we're going to talk about enthusiasm today. What does it look like to be enthusiastic? You get out of bed and you can't wait to live. You can't wait to live life. So, words have power. And if you take the S on words and you put it in the front, you have a sword. So, words have power. Enthusiasm. What do you think of when you think of the word enthusiasm? Do you think of tired? Oh, life sucks so bad. Life sucks. Oh my. Or do you think, I can't wait to get out of bed and go live my life? What can we do so that we can be enthusiastic every day and can't wait to get out of bed and go live life and be who God created us to be? You know, the thing that I learned in my life is the more that I get my brain to be more clear and get closer to being back to how I was created, when I put things in my body that are whole foods and drink more water and just do more things for my body that is more healthy, like more natural foods, etc. The more I do that, the more I get enthusiastic about life. The more I get fired up about life. And I want to read to you here what is the definition of enthusiasm. And what I found is, enthusiasm literally means, in its root concept, and it's in parentheses, full of God. So, it's talking about God, the creator of the heaven and the earth. Maybe that's why enthusiastic people are so often creative and joyful. God will help you maintain enthusiasm. He will help you overcome all difficulties, all tragedies, all sorrows, all heartaches. He will give you victory. Now, you may not believe in God and the creator of the heaven and the earth, and that's fine if you don't. I do, personally, I do. I believe that there's a God that created the heaven and the earth. And He gave us enthusiasm when He created us. And I believe that the closer, as we age, we put food in our bodies. I mean, I used to be an alcoholic. I used to drink alcohol daily. I still love alcohol to this day, but I do it in moderation. Because if I don't do it in moderation, I'm tired. I'm tired instead of enthusiastic about life. So, what I figured out is the less crappy foods, bad foods, whatever you want to call it, foods that are not natural, the more foods that I put into my body that are not natural, the more alcohol I drink, and the more pre-packaged foods, the more things that I do that to my body, the more I lose my enthusiasm. And what I have figured out is when I drink a gallon of water a day, I eat whole foods, I eat more vegetables. I know, right? Vegetables. Not everybody likes it. I mean, you know, the thing I figured out is the more whole foods, like I said, that I eat, the more I get enthusiastic about life, and I can't wait to get out of bed in the morning. Now, this here says, the world is a jungle. Either fight and dominate or hide and evaporate. So, us as men, I like to think, are we going to be like the lion and the king of the jungle? Because the world is a jungle. I mean, let's face it, the world is a jungle. Are we going to fight and dominate and never give up and win this thing called life? Because us men, I want to encourage you men, as you watch this video, Us men were created to be the leaders of this planet, to be creators. I mean, words have the power to create. And this, either you create destruction or construction. Either we're destructing or constructing. And if this sword is put into the wrong man's hands, it can do a lot of bad things. But if it's put into a leader, a man that has good intentions and is enthusiastic about life and making the world a better place, then the sword is a good thing. You can destruct or you can construct with this sword. You can do good things or bad things. We choose because we have free choice. So, if you look at this here, integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. So, if we want to be powerful in this world, powerful men, always think of it like this. We are either constructing or destructing. And if we live by this right here, integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching, that's really who we are as men. When no one is watching, that's really who we are. It's not who we are, what we put on Facebook or what we put on social media, whatever. We put things out there on social media for the world to see. Are we putting out there who we really are? Or are we putting out there on social media what we want the world to see? I mean, I got to ask myself that on a daily basis. What am I doing that I'm not going to do when the world is watching? What am I doing behind closed doors? And I encourage you as men, what we do behind closed doors will come out eventually. The truth will always find you out. Now, it might not be until after you're in your grave, but even if it is after you are in your grave, the next generation is going to have to reap those seeds, whether you believe in the laws of reaping and sowing or not. They still exist. The laws of reaping and sowing are in effect regardless whether you like it or not. And I've come to realize that in my 43 years of life, I sometimes reap things that I sowed years ago. And I'm like, okay, I guess I can't undo this law of reaping and sowing. I mean, it's real. Let's face it. So I want to read some more things here about enthusiasm. It says, 3 synonyms for enthusiasm: keenness, eagerness, interest, passion, relish, zeal, and zest. Now, the opposite of enthusiasm: bored, indifferent, unconcerned, like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm unconcerned. Uninterested, apathetic, dispassionate, nonchalant, like nonchalant. Oh, I don't care. Let's just go through life and just, I was dealt a bad hand, I guess. Guess what? You can change that. Unenthusiastic, half-hearted. I'm just gonna go through life half-hearted, and oh my goodness, I was born in the wrong family. I just was dealt a bad hand. Oh, wah. So, another one here is casualness, detachment. Now, we as men, I've thought about this. What if we wouldn't have freedom of choice? we wouldn't have freedom of choice. How would that be? We wouldn't get to choose if we want to be enthusiastic about life or tired and bored and just, life sucks. I just, it's not worth getting enthused about anything, because I'm gonna get disappointed tomorrow anyway. So I'm not gonna get excited, because what if something happens tomorrow that, takes my excitement away or takes my enthusiasm away? Well, guess what? If we're going to live on this earth anyway and we're going to be alive, why not be enthused? Why not be excited? And sow good seeds. Because you can look at words as a sword, or you can look at it as a seed. I like to look at words as seeds also. That's another way that I have figured out. You can look at words as seeds. We sow them into the universe, and somebody is going to reap them. Probably you or your descendants are going to reap whatever you sow, especially as a man. The men are the givers and the sowers, and the women of this world are the receivers. So if the men are the seed sowers, then let's be careful what seeds we sow, because someday we got to reap them. Somebody has to reap those seeds. And I encourage you, be enthusiastic about life. What do we have to lose by being enthusiastic about life and getting out of bed in the morning and not being able to wait to go live that life? I get enthusiastic in the morning because I'm literally alive and I'm not 6 foot under. That's true. I get out of bed and I'm like, thank God I'm alive. Thank God he woke me up this morning. I am so blessed. Go to the graveyard. Go to the graveyard. Who lives in the graveyard? Unenthused people. They're dead. They're tired. What do we have? Oh my gosh. This fires me up. So I read this book called Hung by the Tongue. Hung by the Tongue. It literally has changed my life. I've read that book numerous times. And in that book, it talks about the power of your tongue. We use our tongue to speak positive, and we use the same tongue to speak negative. Be blessed and go live your best life. And be enthusiastic